Hey guys, it's Jess and I am back for another card tutorial. Today's video is for Maymay Made It. So I am featuring one of Maymay's stamp sets. This one is called Heads and Tails and it features a whole bunch of cute little kitty and puppy heads and heinies. So the stamp set comes with heads and bottom sides of cats and dogs, and then you have these cute little sentiments that you can add in the middle so that you end up with these sort of stretched out dogs or cats. It's really super cute. I'm probably describing it like really poorly, but I have it linked below in case you want to go and check out the whole stamp set. I will be using quite a few images from the stamp set, so you'll get to see a pretty good amount of it here. So I decided that I wanted to create my own background. You guys know that I love to do this using smaller images because I feel like it really lets you get more out of your stamp set than just using the larger images or just using one of that image by itself. This really makes it look like you've got your own coordinating pattern paper, and I just really like the effect. You can choose to leave it colored just the way it is with like nothing on the inside, so just stamp it out. You could also stamp the images themselves in a colored ink. I chose to use the Brutus Monroe Raven Detail ink here. I like the crisp black stamp that you get from this ink, and I decided I wanted to Copic color my stamps as well, so this was perfect for that since that ink is Copic friendly. So once I finished stamping all of the little balls of yarn and the cute little mice, I went ahead and did some Copic coloring. Now I did speed this up a ton because I'm a very slow colorist, but I did try to put each color that I'm using on the video here so that you can see the color combinations that I chose. So I'm coloring here at warp speed. It's certainly not this fast in real life. This is like 8 times faster than I normally color or than the actual video clip was, but I did speed it up, like I said, quite a bit. So I chose seemingly random colors. I feel like I started with the pink and then I moved on to the green, and then I kind of at that point was like, well, I just want to pick colors that I think will hopefully go well with this color palette. I did not have a theme or color palette in mind when I started coloring this, so it was sort of a little bit of a free-for-all. If I had this to do over again, I would have picked a lighter purple for my first color there. That V09 was too dark and it really covered up some of the black lines from the balls of yarn. So I would go back and use a different lighter color for that if I had the chance to do it again. For the cute little mice, I went ahead and colored them in with just some really light shades of Copic, some warm grays, and then I colored their cute little ears pink with R20 because I just thought that was super adorable, just to add that little bit of color to their ears. How super cute is that? Okay, so now that my background is finished, I went ahead and trimmed it down. I do like to make sure to stamp off the edges when I'm creating a background like this so that it looks like the pattern continues and it's not all framed inside your like card area. It makes it look more natural and like a piece of pattern paper. So there you can see a glimpse of the stamp set kind of off the screen there. I was deciding which stamps I wanted to use. I did go ahead and select that super cute little kitten playing with the ball of yarn. I thought that was adorable. And here I was just kind of playing around with ideas for the card. If you guys follow me, you know that I am sort of an on-the-fly crafter. I don't generally plan my cards out in advance. I find for me that stifles my creativity. I create best when I sort of just fly by the seat of my pants and make things up as I go along. I know that doesn't work for everyone, but for me, that is just sort of how I work. I take one step, I do it, and then I sit there and I think, okay, what would look good next? And that is sort of the extent of my creative process. I just sort of go with the flow and create as the inspiration comes to me. So here I've got my mini MISTI out. I use my EK Success anti-static powder tool to prep my surface. This makes it so that no stray embossing powder gets stuck where I don't want it. I use the Brutus Monroe embossing ink. This is an ink for using embossing powder with, but it's not sticky. It is clear or translucent, so you don't have to worry about any weird colors on your cardstock. And then I'm using the Alabaster embossing powder, also from Brutus Monroe. I'm going to use my Wagner heat tool to heat set that and just melt that embossing powder. And pro tip, if you are embossing on black, I sometimes have problems with stray little bits of powder, even though I try my hardest to get that powder tool really, really thick and coated on there. What I have been doing is if I'm on black cardstock, I just take a Copic multiliner and I just put a little dot of the Copic multiliner over those dots of embossing powder where they got where I didn't want them to go, and it makes it look like I didn't make any mistakes. So you guys know I'm all about fixing my errors and continuing on even if things aren't perfect, and that is just another way that I can keep doing that. I also do the same with gel pen on my colored areas. When I inevitably go outside the lines with my Copic coloring, I go back in with a white gel pen after the fact and just kind of make it look like I colored inside the lines. I guess we were supposed to learn that in kindergarten and it just didn't stick. Anyway, so I'm using my mini MISTI again to stamp out the head and hiney of my little cat, and I chose the sentiment, "You're kidding me," because you guys know I like a good pun. I also did put congratulations down at the bottom. I thought this would be a super cute card for like a "you did it," or maybe even a graduation card or promotion card, something like that. Just when someone did something that was awesome, I like that. Like, "You're kidding me, congratulations." Like, wow, you did it. I think that's really cute. So yes, I used my mini MISTI for this so that I could re-stamp it again and again if I needed to, just to make sure I got a really crisp stamp. And I did go ahead and use some more Copics here for this coloring. I started with my darker warm grays. Nothing super complicated here. I just went in with the darkest color first, moved to the next lightest color, and then all the way down until I got to my lightest color. I didn't use anything else other than warm grays here. So I just went from W7 to W5 to W3 to W1, I believe, in the end. And that just helps get a nice blend of colors without being too weird or I don't know. I didn't want it to be distracting, I guess. So I took my pair of scissors. These are the Brutus Monroe Fussy cutting scissors, and I left this part sped up as well. Like I told you guys earlier, I sped the coloring up to I think 8 times earlier. This time may have been only 6 times, but I kept this cutting part at the warp speed as well because I cut really slow. And I figured that this was a more fun or entertaining way to watch me cut because it looks like I'm super fast and efficient. Spoiler, I'm not. Okay, look how cute that is. I decided to go ahead and add a little bit of gray Copic marker to the belly and back of the cat area, like the stretched out part where the sentiment is, because I thought it looked a little bit weird with just the white. I don't know. I just felt like it didn't look quite finished. And I did add some foam tape to the back of that as well for dimension. Yeah, see here, I'm going back in with that Copic marker just to add a little bit to make it look more finished and kind of give it that crisp edge that I was looking for. I think that was the perfect touch. I think it didn't need any more than that, but that really helped make it pop out a little bit more against the background as well. So there you say, it says, "You're kidding me." How cute is that? Okay, so I also used the foam tape from Brutus Monroe. This stuff is really thick in comparison to all the other foam tapes that I have tried. So I do like to use this a lot for popping up card panels on the front of a card. It works really, really well for that, and I like that it gives quite a bit more dimension without having to use twice as much of the foam tape. So I'm just peeling off those backers there, and I will go ahead and adhere that to my card base. It is a white top folding card base, and it is A2 size, so it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then my front panel there is 4 by 5 1/4, so it's just matted down 1/4 of an inch. I really like the way that this turned out, and I'm really happy that I sort of just flew by the seat of my pants. I had thought about doing a card sketch and kind of going through that whole process because I've seen a lot of people have really good success with that. I just don't think it's for me. So I decided that my card needed a little something extra. So I took a bit of baker's twine. I have a whole container there that you saw of different colors. That's not all of the twine that I have, but That's where I keep the majority of it. And I keep it on those little embroidery floss cards because it helps me visualize what colors I have a little bit better. I can see them all, which means that I actually use them, as opposed to when I had them all in like a jar. It just didn't work for me. So I decided that I wanted to wrap the twine around the cat so that it looked more like the cat was kind of, you know, getting into trouble like cats do, and you know, playing with the yarn. That's the thing cats do. So I wrapped a little bit of it around the cat, and I thought that that made it look a lot cuter rather than just having all of it coming from behind. And so I did that. It took me a longer than I care to admit to do this and get it kind of where I thought I might be happy with it. This is something that's really hard for me, getting placement, because I want it to look kind of random, because that's sort of the point, right? But too random is, I don't know, it just doesn't, it's not okay. I'm a perfectionist, and that makes it really hard for me to just kind of let things lay where they fall. I think that's the expression. I don't know. Anyway, it's hard for me to just let go and leave things as they are. And I keep sort of messing with things until I get them how I like them. And sometimes I just have to say, okay, that's enough. I have to walk away. And that's kind of where I was at with this one. I don't know. I was messing with it too much and it kept looking more and more weird. But I'm glad I did tuck this little piece in at the top that you're going to see me mess with here. It just looked a little bizarre up there. It was too big and floofy. I don't know. Anyway, I thought that the yarn was a really nice touch. It was very lightly colored, but it was really cute. It kind of was like a coordinating color for this. And so I thought it brightened up the card a little bit. I really like how this turned out. So then I just got some got some clear sequins, and I messed with the placement a little bit before I was happy with that, and then I just went ahead and adhered them with some glue that dries clear. This particular one is from Lawn Fawn. I like that style, the little pen there. All right, you guys, that is it for the card today. I hope you love it. Drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think, and if this is a card that you might send to someone. I will have some inspiration videos here for you if you'd like to keep watching. If it's your first time on my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys all again really soon in another video. Hugs and love. Talk to you later. Bye.